So for our first set of the stream tonight, we're gonna have Flush Witch and Meechole. So Forsburn Ranno.
Whoa.
Wow.
Now this should be starting on gates. Amateur mistake for the Ranno player. Forsburn really likes the stage. Don't you know?
I just realized. Yeah, I didn't do that yet. Okay. Perfect timing. I'm insane.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is, honestly, I feel like this is a pretty solid stage for both characters, which is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Those platforms, especially when they're in the center, are extremely strong for the platform game both these characters like to play.
Uh-huh. It just kind of shifts in between not Blazing Hideout and Blazing Hideout. And if there's one thing I know, it's that Forsburn really likes Blazing Hideout.
It's like a simultaneously bigger forest floor and smaller Blazing.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, nice little smoke recovery going on. Oh, but
Right
the
now,
forward smash, a little bit too strong.
yeah, that was a bit of a rough situation for Plush. For's recovery isn't that great, though I think it was like too hesitant to try coming right back on the stage.
Mm-hmm. I think because they had yet to be touched the ground, it was a good idea to just try and go back straight to the stage, because you only get your jump back as Forsburn once when you teleport into smoke.
Right.
So
I think a lot of For's players will just kind of go for that option like right away, but then using that second double jump is really crucial in making sure you're salvaging it for the right situation. I don't know if that was intentional, but it was pretty smart to just go super aggressive there. Because right now, Meechole's not ready for it. I forget if it's Meechole or Meechole. But I don't think we're going to get an answer right now.
Yeah. If I had to guess, I'd have to say Meechole, because that sounds funny.
It is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Jab 3.
Ooh, that was a nice little turnaround. But I'll say Meechole is doing a really good playing the Forest Ranno matchup. You don't want to. Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, as Ranno, even though you have the power to like run people over, the disjoint Forsburn has between like Cape 1 and just the dagger normals, it can be pretty brutal to deal with as Ranno. So just hanging back and shooting those needles, making it so Flush Witch has to approach pretty good. Already showing good.
Yeah.
Didn't quite make it there.
That was pretty solid for Meechole all around. Also, I just realized I forgot to turn on like player tags.
Tisk.
There we go. No, small. Wait, is small or large the default?
I don't know.
I think it's large.
Probably large. Large and in charge.
That looks right.
Yeah, that looks about correct.
Okay. Yeah, I had to turn it off because I was making that little like mid-season post on Recess Twitter.
Yeah.
The things I learned from constantly doing production for this game. Anyway, this is a really odd counterpick.
Kinda makes sense. Because with Flush Witch, it likes to go for smoke a lot, and just the extra vertical space offered up, especially by the top platforms, and we can see Flush Witch can plat boost, so having the extra space to set up smoke will help a lot, and it will help with having like higher smoke because it makes it less likely for smoke to get cleared by needles.
Yeah, I think it's a weird counter pick. I think I like it though. I'm curious to see how it works out. Because you don't normally think of this as like a good core stage, but he does have a few. Like if he wants to play defensive, you can do that 100%.
I also don't think of Fire Capital as a great Ranno stage.
Oh, definitely not.
Either.
Yeah, right now it's looking pretty even, but Flush Witch is taking the first stock, which is already a massive change in pace from the last game where we were just kind of behind the whole time.
Yeah. It's really good to see the plat boosts coming out from Flush Witch, although I will say since this is kind of like a live VOD review, a lot of the stuff Clutch Witch is doing is really good, but it really needs to get its DI down in order to really make sure it can keep ahead and just make sure. Because if you can hold on to your stocks for a really long time, it doesn't matter if you have a hard time killing your opponent. If you're that sucks.
Let me stop.
But the homie stop, I respect it.
I've never seen Force count with a clone out. That's really funny.
Yeah. It's so good.
But yeah, I think I see what you're saying. Like, there's some good ideas, but disadvantage, like, even when it's kind of making correct calls, there's a lot of shakiness in general.
Both these players are making very good decisions. I think Clutch Witch is personally making a lot better decisions. But it's just a matter of Meechole having a better DI in most situations, while Clutch Witch kind of flubs DI, especially survival DI.
Yeah.
Which I get it at like novice level. It is really hard to DI because sometimes you want to like DI out for like the combo, and then a Hail Mary kill move just comes out of nowhere, and you're dead. But
I think another thing like that some people can really mess up about DI is not really doing it preemptively enough. It can be really hard to like think that you can react with your DI, and like you can in a lot of situations, but sometimes you just need to do it like before you get hit and call out their option.
Ooh, the charge clone. I like Clutch Witch already.
Super clone's a very based option, yeah. Oh no.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it's...
I'm a very, very big Super Clone fan. I used to be a Forsburn main before Sylvanas came out, and I'd always fish for like the Super Clone combos on casual.
That is appropriately evil for you. Good catch there on the no-tack.
Very nice.
I wonder if,
It's so hard to pull off, but it just feels so good when you're able to do it.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, I just won the lottery, dude.
Oh no.
Oh.
This is evil.
This is rough.
Yeah, Plush, I would recommend ban. I think this music for fighting Ranno on Abyss is just truly... It's the most fitting thing you could imagine, really. I know there are some forces that like this stage, but it's hard to make use of it. It's really hard to make use of it. Most of the time, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, Forsburn tends to like platforms, so like when you take him out of the equation. Granted, Ranno also likes platforms. Most characters in this game like platforms, but if you're someone who has a very platform-heavy like game plan, like you use it for your recovery, for your movement, for your combos, you should just ban the stage always, because it doesn't matter what character you are. If you need platforms, don't let them take you here.
Yeah, like, and this can be really player independent, but I also think there are certain characters like Ranno and Crag where just their projectiles become so horrifically strong on this stage.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, so far, Clutch Witch still keeping up the stock lead.
Yeah.
It's not letting itself get caught by the call-out down smash right there. That's good. But ooh, Ranno up air. Super jump up air at that.
Yeah, a lot of people really don't DI that move right. Even I don't DI it right a lot of the time, if I'm being honest.
It's really hard. It's like...
It's weird, because, like, it almost feels like it should have an angle flipper, but it doesn't. You have to DI, like, you know, towards the direction he's facing.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of patience right now from Meechole.
And that's what I'm saying. In this matchup as the Ranno player, if that Forsburn is throwing out their disjoints, you want to kind of hang back and respect that. You want to annoy them into coming to you. Because their disjoints don't matter as much if you're within striking range of them as well.
Right.
And Ranno has no shortage of range, mind you. It's just like disjoint usually beats out not disjoint, especially at that farther range.
I think like Ranno's big thing when it comes to range is just having mules as such a strong option.
I was talking with Danzello the other day about disjoint as a strength. Ooh, unfortunate. I was talking about how disjoint is a strength for a character but a lack of disjoint in and of itself is no weakness. So it's kind of strange like that.
That's kind of... I guess it depends on the severity, but it's not always a weakness, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, just going back to what we originally said, just gotta polish up that DI plus which. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're pretty solid.
That situation was kind of tough, too, because...
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many, like, other... Like, it's really good to have that waveland as an option. But the hard thing is, if you waveland, you can't, like, immediately do a defensive option.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're just gonna call you out like that, you gotta figure something else out. But we'll see here. Plus Switch does still have a game to work with here, and Rockwall is gonna be the counter pick.
This is an interesting counter pick.
It really
There it is. There it is, kind of. So normally I would advise taking like Rannos to Rockwall because usually when Rannos are... Alright, granted, Rockwall also does have like a small top blast zone. Most Rannos want to kill you off the top usually. So bring it here, if you're someone who kills off the side, you're at a bit more of an advantage.
Right.
However, Plush Witch has been getting killed off the sides pretty consistently in this matchup. In fact, we saw just earlier in this match that almost died to a Hail Mary forward air at like 60.
Yeah.
Although I do think this is a very good stage for Forsburn.
It's always it's a Russian roulette option. It's really good for both characters, but I also think it's good for like everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really go wrong with Rockwall, but you're definitely not always going to go right.
I definitely think you can go wrong with Rockwall. I have a rule that I never take Eliana's, or like let Eliana's take me to Rockwall.
I'm kind of surprised you would say Ellie specifically.
I don't want to DI up air and die at like 0 because I DI'd one wrong. I'm gonna be real.
That is valid.
Granted, it's like with Eliana, you just run the risk of dying like at 0 on any stage, but Rockwall especially just makes it even tougher.
Oh my god, that was evil.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good weight on Plus Switch to kind of recognize, like, okay, this probably won't tip her. I can just stand here and wait. Ultimately, I think the big thing about Rockwall that I think can make this kind of pick scary, especially in this particular stat, is that one of the biggest strengths you can have on Rockwall is like an easy to repeat aerial chain off stage.
Mm-hmm.
And both these characters do have that, with like Force there, and I guess Bear too, and Ranno Fair.
Mm-hmm.
But I've noticed Meechole's been going for the fair stuff a lot more. I don't think we've seen any of it this game, but like Ranno Fair on this stage is pretty horrific.
Hmm. Alright. I was gonna mention something, but now it's like kind of null because they're doing it right now. I was gonna mention, hey, these players haven't been wave dashing much in the past minute, and then they both started wave dashing again. Ooh,
That was a
that's
really good
a kill.
catch.
I'm surprised that killed.
Yeah, I'd have to...
Or DI.
I'd have to look at the exact positioning again, but like I'm wondering, I feel like Meechole probably could have DI'd that some way, but DIing upcape is kind of wonky, so...
Yeah. And upkick is really strong. Like, really strong.
Yeah, that's a weird one, because, like, it is DIable in a lot of situations, but the DI for it is super weird. And I think a lot of people, like, at first just won't think about DIing it because the knockback is so low. Like, if it happens, it's probably on purpose.
For upcape or, like, the full thing?
Well, for like, DIing away from the knife, mostly.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. I was gonna say, because, like, getting hit by that knife, that's not a very pleasant thing to get hit by.
Seriously, yeah.
It's like a really strong smash attack. Maybe not, like, the most consistent one to hit, but when it hits, it will murder. Let's see. Ooh.
That was a pretty good call out right there. Just
That was
baiting the landing, but the fortunate SD right after.
a good one.
Dash attack.
Down tilt the wrong way, but still picking up with the F tilt.
Yeah.
Good presence. Good presence of mind.
go. Off stage again. It's gonna be dicey. Yeah, reading the wrong course.
I do have to give props to Meech and the fact that they're not trying to follow Forsburn off stage all the time. Like, even though you could benefit from like trying to challenge it sometimes if you can like get a hard call out, in general, with the amount of mix-ups Forsburn can do, it's better to just wait for them back on stage. So props to them.
Yeah, I think Meechole's been pretty good about like going off stage at the right times.
However, I will say that I think inversely, Plushquit should challenge Ranno off the stage more. Forsburn is one of the few characters with a downward disjoint attack that's actually able to challenge Ranno's up B.
I never really thought about it, but I guess that probably makes sense. It should be fast enough to call it out in a lot of situations.
It doesn't necessarily have to be fast enough as long as you can just time it properly.
I'm gonna reset the game real quick, but yeah. That was a pretty solid set though, honestly.
Yeah. How about you, Jazz? I know you're a Forsburn player. Do you agree that in like at least a few situations you can challenge Ranno up B with Force down air? It's been a while since I played Forsburn. I don't know if that's a good idea anymore.
I mean, if I had to guess, I think it would just be like tight timing, but it would be possible.
Yeah. I'm looking for practical here.